Thursday, 29th of December, 2022. In terms of what we've been up to, not much if I'm completely honest. Since the 22nd or the last video, Christmas has been around, well, it's come and gone. Didn't really do much, but I was chilled out. Looked after my neighbour's dog, saw my family, pretty much standard stuff that, you know, most people want to do at least for Christmas. So yeah, that was about it. Since then, I've put out some content, in fact. I'm very much liking how putting more content out on a regular basis is improving my ability to want to do things at work and finding new things to do to be able to talk about, because at the end of the day, a lot of this job is actually kind of monotonous until something forces you to change or you have an opportunity. So a lot of it is just biding your time. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. What else has happened? I spent the past few days trying to fix a bug on the site, on the Design with Blue site. We've got a problem with people that sign up for memberships, but I think because most of the staff are off, it's causing some issues because Serena's not here. And typically I would ask her to help out on that front, and it's something that she's more adept for. So gotta wait, being patient. I've announced the fact that the Blue agency is a thing that's gone live, and hopefully, well, the reception's been positive so far. I know that just given the fact that the time of year it is, not much is going to go on, like I said in the last video, but I do have some leads and I have some good interest from people that are keen on getting some work done in future. So that's really positive, and I'm very happy and excited to see where things go, as well as that the work that we can start producing. That's going to be phenomenal, man. I think it's quite random how I popped up with an agency, but I wanted to use this time to discuss what led me down that route and why we're doing it. Over the past year, pretty much all year and even 2-3 months beforehand, I've spent a lot of time attempting or trying and somewhat failing, but also succeeding in ways to fundraise. That was all through Love Circular, and even when the market was good, we weren't really there yet, to be fair, but when the market, literally about 2 months into really getting into the mix of fundraising, the market turned to shit, if I'm completely honest, and that's not really been that great. I think every entrepreneur has experienced, any entrepreneur who's going or has been thinking about fundraising has either been a bit scared or, you know, been kind of put off by the market. And it's no surprise, a lot of the investors in the space are quite scared from what I've seen, or they're not scared, but they're sat with their hands underneath their legs and they're just not deploying capital. And for many businesses, things have gone kind of south for them. So that's the context behind it. But yeah, I spent a lot of time fundraising. A lot of that time, actually, I didn't get to put into the business, and the direct result of that is things went left. I didn't get to care for aspects of the team as much as I wanted. I did preface this with everyone, and I kind of knew that this would happen. Apparently it's a very common thing when it comes to people going for fundraising, especially when they're bootstrapped or when they're very early stage in their career. But yeah, a lot of love wasn't given back to the business, and as a result, processes went in directions that I weren't happy with. Certain things just happened, and it wasn't an ideal scenario. As well as that, we lost a crap ton of money, so much money. It's our first actual year running at a loss. Last year we profited, the year before that we profited, and this year, yeah, we're running at a loss, and kind of bittersweet if I'm honest, but also a huge learning opportunity for what I can think about, what I can think about doing in future to not end up in this position. And as a result, for me, I don't think Love Circular needs to fundraise given the business it is. I believe we need to focus on the fundamentals and stay continually focused on the fundamentals. That puts us in an advantageous position in future, as we have a lot more control and say, and we can grow at our own speed, and we don't have to do things that are all there, highly pressured around trying to hit a random number for some person who's overseeing this, and he, she, them, they, or whoever they could be, needs a return. For me, just given how much we lost, the fact that the market's crap and the fact that it wasn't a very pleasurable experience, for me, I've just not been interested in fundraising anymore, and I don't necessarily think the business model requires it. So for what can we do given the fact that it's harder for consumer businesses? We've now started exploring some of our B2B options, and that's something that if you're if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about consumer business, approach cautiously. That's what I'd say. Yeah, now we're thinking about our B2B options, and we've been weighing up a few things. Love Circular is going to stabilize itself through a lot of B2B revenue in future over the coming months. But I also thought, what's more needed than the things that we can get ourselves involved with when it comes to Love Circular? And the biggest thing that we have in terms of, you know, talent directly through that company, my skill set, my knowledge, and also a lot of my network is design. That put me down the thought of, let's see what we can do to save, or not save, but help businesses generate revenue, continually, you know, build new things for them, for their products or services. And by going down that rabbit hole of thinking, the agency just made so much more sense in the long run. Yeah, I thought to go down the route of an agency. Then I was faced with a dilemma. Do I do it under Love Circular, or do I do it under its own entity? I don't want to do it under Love Circular because I felt like Love Circular's mission is very clear. It's help people go from nothing to a career in a field, and also upskill as they continually progress in their professional life. But also when it comes to the Blue agency, I thought the best opportunity that we have is break that brand off, create it as a separate entity, and, you know, create an identity for it, as well as that build life into it and create something over there. By doing so, we don't have to confuse people who may be interested in Love Circular from a B2B standpoint, or people that just might be looking to learn and wonder what's going on with this company. As well as that, we can actually put ourselves out there. I think if I were to do it under Love Circular, the brand would be very weird. It would be, what do they actually focus on? Do they focus on education, or do they focus on agency? What is it? So completely separate that, and I have high hopes for it, if I'm completely honest, by going down that route. For us, one of the sick opportunities that we currently have by doing so is we have an arsenal of design talent. Going to consider doing is we're going to deliver opportunities to people that we know are already qualified for work in this industry, but they just need a bit of a helping hand, and yeah, usher them into paid opportunities and hopefully get their work experience up. That might make it easier, or it should make it easier for them to get into employment in future. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I was thinking all day about fundraising and things relating to it, and it was kind of irking me. I had a conversation before with someone, and honestly, there's so much that goes on behind the scene of companies, people with money and all that stuff, that it feels like noise. A lot of it feels like it's a big competition of vanity metrics and who can make the most noise, not necessarily who can make the best product. And for me, I'm not as interested in playing those games right now. I think they aren't the best games to play for myself and for what I want to achieve within my career. And by doing so, I thought, you know what, it makes more sense to go down the route of creating cash flow positive companies, ones that can actually make a direct impact, and I can do so at the pleasure of my own desire. Pretty much that. But I also thought it might be interesting to share another book that I've got that I definitely recommend. I've probably read this book about 4 times this year. It's The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. There's a lot of quality content in there. Some of it painfully obvious, as most of my advice sometimes feels like that. But even in the painfully obvious things, just the way it's laid out is very helpful. When I read that book, it made me think in terms of the business models that I want to create at this stage of my life and what I can do to better the development of my professional career. At the moment, Love Circular is a largely service-based, but we have some media components when it comes to self-paced courses. But one of the things that we're looking to do is tie that up and deliver some software that's going to allow us to take great advantage of our own media, and also just other aspects of software which we can dish out from a B2B standpoint in the future. That in itself allows us to improve our leverage, our returns, our leverage, our ability to profit, and our ability to scale the company financially. And it's just a way better opportunity to grow. As well as that, when it comes to Blue and what we're building over there, right now it starts in a service position. Eventually we'll learn many things, we'll learn many secrets when it comes to the industry and figure out ways to increase the leverage. Maybe we'll get involved in media, maybe we'll get involved in software. But at this point, I like the thought of building everything up one by one, similar to what I said in the last video, brick by brick type thing, if it's Lego. And yeah, see where it goes. But this is my entry 9, I guess. Not really much is going on, but there's a lot of thoughts there, and I'm happy to share every now and then. Honestly, if anyone ever has any questions or they want to see something that I might be able to add value to, or whatever you think I could add value to, please just comment or just shoot me a DM on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I have that. Not so much LinkedIn. I really can't get through LinkedIn. I think it's quite weird at times. But yeah, just shoot me a message and I'm around. But yeah, thanks. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.